Hi, Stefan Swartling here. I've been using ProtonVPN for a while now, and the reason for that is that I want to see how good it is compared to NordVPN that I have been using for many years now. So I will, in this video, tell you about some bad things with ProtonVPN and some good things with it. So let's begin. I've always admired Proton as a company for our privacy and security. They are really good at that. They have, for example, Proton Mail, encrypted email and so on. And they have ProtonVPN and all these for our privacy and security. And I think that's really great. And they recently also released all ProtonVPN apps as open source. And I think that's a huge plus for ProtonVPN. And I've been using ProtonVPN on my iPad Air 4, as you can see here, and I've also used it on my iPhone XS Max in my example, and I've also used it on my Mac Mini M1. So that is the 3 different devices I've been using it for. And it's also available for Android and Windows. Yes, I know that I have some Android devices, but I haven't used ProtonVPN on them yet. I have an Android TV box though, and ProtonVPN is available for Android TV too. But on Android TV, I can say that ProtonVPN is not so good. It doesn't have any features at all. The only thing you can do is connect to different countries and nothing else. But I can say that ProtonVPN is quite good as blocking Netflix to feel which country you are in and so on. So you can easily connect to different countries and using Netflix for that. So for example, if I want to see a Netflix US, I can do that here in Sweden and so on quite easily with the Android TV version of ProtonVPN. That's really good. And I think also that ProtonVPN has more than enough service that I personally need, at least. All the big countries is in this server list, what I can see. And one thing is strange though, is that if I want to use secure core, then I can't connect to Sweden at all. Sweden disappears when I use secure core. So for example, if I do like this, connect, and it chooses secure core to be able to connect to a new server. Secure core is a feature as ProtonVPN that connects to 2 servers to be even more secure. But as you can see, I can't connect to Sweden when I choose that. I need to disconnect that feature again to be able to connect to my country, Sweden. And I think that's very strange. So I have to disable secure core to be able to connect to my home country's servers. And as you can see now, I'm connected to Sweden again and uses server 11 in Stockholm, Sweden, and uses OpenVPN UDP. And that is another drawback with ProtonVPN. You can't use WireGuard. WireGuard is a new protocol, a really fast new protocol for VPNs. NordVPN and a lot of other VPNs has support for WireGuard, and that is much faster than OpenVPN. ProtonVPN only supports OpenVPN and IKE version 2. Those 2 protocols is the only one ProtonVPN supports, and WireGuard is definitely needed to be able to have even faster speeds with ProtonVPN. I think at the moment NordVPN is faster than ProtonVPN, and that is probably because they use WireGuard. But I have seen when I'm using my iPhone that ProtonVPN has WireGuard support in beta, because in the app logs for ProtonVPN on my iPhone, I've seen that it sometimes connects to WireGuard, and that's great because then I know that we have WireGuard support in a near future in ProtonVPN. Another great feature with ProtonVPN is that you can create your own profiles by just clicking this plus and then do some settings here and save that as a profile. And as you can see here, you get 2 profiles when you install ProtonVPN automatically. You have one for fastest connection and one for random connection. I have never used a random connection. I don't know why we have a profile for that. When should I use a random connection? I don't know why I should do that. But you can create such profile in the settings here. But the fastest connection is what I always use. That is the way I think you should use. Then you always get the fastest connection possible. The settings in ProtonVPN is not the greatest either, because you don't have so much different things to do here. But as you can see, this is a ProtonVPN Plus account. You have smart protocol, and that feature connects to the best protocol available for what you should do. So in this case it went to OpenVPN. It could also be IKE version 2, and hopefully in the future even WireGuard. It also has NetShield that blocks malware, ads and trackers, and that is the same feature that NordVPN has. NordVPN calls it CyberSec and ProtonVPN calls it NetShield. And ProtonVPN also have Always On VPN as a feature, and I must say that I don't feel as secure with the ProtonVPN's Always On VPN feature as NordVPN has, at least not on the Mac, because on the Mac it feels that it's so easily to disconnect and not be protected on the network. So I think that's it feels a lot less secure. I don't know why, maybe it's just me that feels like so, but it feels like that at least. Both ProtonVPN and NordVPN has a kill switch on the Mac. The kill switch with ProtonVPN actually turns off the whole network for me, so I can't use it, because then I can't use Plex server, file server and so on, because I can't reach my local network, and that's a bit bad. But maybe that's better because it's more secure, I don't know. But with NordVPN I can actually use my Plex server and file server still with a kill switch on. And ProtonVPN has a very strange feature here called VPN Accelerator that accelerates the speeds up to 400%. I don't know why it's here. I can't see a difference with it off or on. And if it's doing a different, why don't just have it on always and remove this feature. Have it on. So I recommend Proton as a company to remove this feature and always have VPN Accelerator on, because there is no need to turn it off actually. So why have that as a feature? I can also say that iOS widgets I'm very disappointed at, because you can't have ProtonVPN as a widget on the home page on the iPad or iPhone. You can only have it in the sidebar, so you need to swipe like this and have the widget here instead, and that's really bad, because nowadays everyone have widgets for the home page and not just in the sidebar. So that's a bit bad for ProtonVPN. I think they need to work on that so that gets better. So that is about the feature that has. But now I should show you a thing with ProtonVPN. If we go into Safari and then choose a service called Whoer.net. It's a service to be able to see how secure you are and how protected you are and so on. Your disguise on the internet. As you can see now, 100% disguised. If I now update this, you see that I'm connected to this IP address, and that IP address is from ProtonVPN, and it uses this ISP, Altus Host BV, and as you can see, blacklist no. That's really good. But as I have seen sometimes that when you connect to ProtonVPN, you sometimes get a blacklisted IP address, and then it says infected here. And that's not good. When you, for example, will connect to a peer-to-peer server with ProtonVPN, then sometimes it's blacklisted here when checking this, and then your disguise gets to 80 or 90% only, and some websites don't want you to see their content and so on because your IP address is blacklisted. And I think that's not as good. With NordVPN you sometimes get a blacklisted IP, but that is after, for example, 3 to 4 days connected to the same IP and so on. So every time I used Quick Connect in NordVPN to get the fastest possible connection, then I always get a clean IP. But with ProtonVPN, I sometimes get a blacklisted IP when using this profile, fastest connection. So I think Proton needs to work on that too. When using this profile, fastest connection, they should filter out all the blacklisted IP addresses automatically. That's only natural, I think, because you should not be able to connect to a blacklisted IP from the beginning. I can understand that it's get blacklisted after being connected for some days or so. So hopefully they change that. Another good thing with ProtonVPN is that the apps feels very stable. They never crashes, at least not yet for me. So they feel very, very stable. And the connection also feels quite stable on the iPad at least and the iPhone, because I can be connected to the same server for a couple of days. But when I am connected like this, you can see different icons here, symbols, to see which different services is supported. For example, peer-to-peer, like this symbol says. You can see different servers here. And here we have a really good feature that ProtonVPN has that NordVPN doesn't have anymore, and that is seeing the server load. As you can see here, it's green, then you can connect to this and have great speeds. If it's yellow, then it's a bit slower, but you can still connect to it. And if it's red, then it's overloaded. Then you can't have any speed whatsoever. It's very, very slow. But as you can see here, if I choose Sweden servers, only 4 servers is compatible with peer-to-peer torrenting and so on. The other 4 is not. So with NordVPN, every server supports peer-to-peer torrenting and so on. So that's a bit strange. I only have 4 servers. So if these 4 servers gets overloaded, then I can only use these servers in Sweden. So that's not the best. But it's really great, as I said, that you can see when the server gets overloaded. I think that's really good. Another great thing with the Mac app is that you get a notification when you get disconnected to the network. That's really good, because then you can see that you are not protected anymore. But I must say that I rather have a very stable connection instead, that I can trust, that I never get disconnected from. That would be much better for me, because then I could sleep well and know that I'm always connected and always protected. But if ProtonVPN goes down, you get a notification on your Mac says that you are not connected anymore. That's good, but I would prefer to have an even more secure and trustworthy connection instead. So that's what I think about ProtonVPN. And now only one question remains, and that is the biggest question of them all. Is ProtonVPN worth more than double the price than what you pay for NordVPN? NordVPN is half as cheap as ProtonVPN is. And I must say that it's not. I must say no to that. ProtonVPN is not worth more than double the money that you get NordVPN for. And the reason for that is that they are comparable with the features and so on, and not so much differences between them and so on. So why pay double the price? I am not sure about that. So I think Proton as a company need to look over their price list and so on for the accounts, and maybe include Proton Mail in the same account as ProtonVPN Plus account to be able to compete better, because then you can keep the price they have now, but you get more for the money, if you know what I mean. So if you get both ProtonVPN and Proton Mail in the same account for that money, then I think it's more worth paying for that. So I think Proton needs to see over their prices for the different features and so on. That's the biggest drawback with ProtonVPN. You really get all things you need with ProtonVPN. So the service itself is very good, but the price is too much. So change that. Give us Proton Mail in the same account, for example. Then I think it gets much better value for the money. Okay, bye.